Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go.
Hi everyone. Today is Tuesday, July the 8th, 2025, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and we are taking a look at the ES. Scheduled news is light, but in these days, it's all about the tweets and what comes out. Yes, July is customarily bullish. However, as I mentioned when we were talking together on the Benzinga Pro platform earlier, the end of June is supposed to be a little wiggly, and it went straight up. So we could just have a drift of time. We could also be moving very sideways, as you can see from the chart. So what gives? Well, we've got a range over here to the left. We've got a VWAP that is down and then up and then down and then up. So essentially it's sideways. We have dips still being bought, so that's not going to change. The average true range on the day, we broke the lower edge of it yesterday and then lifted. This is how you can use these indicators to tell you that you've got price action shift. Here's something else that you can use, the super trend. It has an alert that tells us when we break through the top of the old range, and immediately we're to look for price action reversal when it does something like that. And you can see easily on this 1 hour chart, it breaks through this low edge and the green line becomes resistance. And so that's what we're staring down, right? And so it moves right into the edge of that range at the bottom and then bounces again. So what is the opening range of the pre-market? Low 6,254.50, high 6,266.25. So not a bad range, 10 points or so. You can see we never broke the low. And now we are moving into the target zones as defined by old support. Super trend is telling us that. And that is 6,297. We break above there, we're going to go into the average true range expectation of the day. IV high and IV low today are IV high 6,289.25, IV low 6,235.75. I don't have them marked. Write them down, put them on your chart. That's what we're staring down in this range. Volatility is compressing a little bit, but again, traders are buying vol right now. What is momentum? Up, but oversold. So looking for support right here. Above the VWAP, dips should be buy zones. I like the long action from 6,266. If it breaches that, we have the VWAP of the volume profile event here, and that number is 6258. Just get out of the way, let it reset, get your trade set up again. Let's go to the NQ. All right, NQ, opening range, low 22,808.50, opening range high 22,853.50. Not too bad. Totally breaks out of the opening range high, stays above the VWAP. Price action is in great shape. What is the slope of the 63 moving average? It's up to flat. What's momentum? It's down. Traders are coming into frontline resistance, trying to find support, and probably get another leg higher. What do I like as the long? 22,852 or so, right? If we lose that VWAP action at a VWAP of the volume profile, 22,832, we've got a little bit of a pickle going on there. Just step out of the way. Just don't wait until it just slogs against you. Just follow the trend. And the easiest trend to follow is the VWAP, because that's volume by price, right? Volume weighted average price. It tells you where the majority of buyers and sellers are sitting. This giant candlestick here represents the highest volume of the day in the Qs. Notice, we're still sitting in the middle of it. We went to the high, easy place to take a short. I haven't talked about this in a few days, but you know I like to do that. I like to put a box around that highest volume candle of the prior day, Low edge will give me a buy zone. High edge will give me a zone to cover. Okay? And we've had no breakthrough events on our super trend today. We did have a breakthrough event yesterday as it lost this low, and this became resistance. All right, let's take a look at the YM. Yikes, I always forget that happens. I wish there was a way to keep that from happening. All right, so what are we staring down? It looks a little bit sideways, doesn't it? So what are we seeing? Breakout, mean reversion, loss of the 63 simple moving average, bounce into a wait, do I not have this alert set? Well, here I have it triggering 20 times so it can catch every single time it does it, and I just used 90 days so I don't have to make a new alert. All right, so this tells me when I've got a breakdown or a potential break to the north. Opening range for the YM, we've got a low 44,509, a high of 44,590, so about 90 points. Again, never hit the bottom. Point of control, that's very interesting. It's not a point of control. That's the low edge of the value area is 44,551. I'd like a long right there. If it loses it, forget about it. What does trend tell you? Well, it's pretty mixed, right? So we've got to recover this edge. If we bounce into 44,800 and we can't get up over that, that makes a nice short. I would like to see that as a potential short area. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's go to micro Bitcoin. Okay, and is this one here? Yes, it's got a breakthrough. Okay, so looking at Bitcoin, it's been very volatile, right? Great intraday trading mechanics for this one. Notice average weekly range, pretty wide. It's keeping inside of that box. So it hasn't exploded in volatility so much that it's outside of the box, but it's pretty messy. And it tells us the low edge, going to give us buy zones. You know, let's do that. Let's, oops. Let's see how well this works. It helps tell us when extreme measures have been worked through. Let's do it again up here. Sorry about that. Just fast forward. All right. So what do we have happening right this minute? Take a look. What's the range? Tight opening range relative to Bitcoin. High, let's start with low. Low, 108,300. High, 108,590. Okay, so what did it do? It broke the top into the prior day's VWAP close, faded, broke the bottom into the put support, and then is now on the rise. So if we're thinking to ourselves, ooh, this is a 63 down, I want to trade it short, the place to take a short here, if you were doing such a thing, would be at or into this congested region that collapses with your 63 or connects with your 63, and you see a rollover in momentum. Many times we look at this and we go, okay, well, I'm going to short it right up here at the breakthrough. Well, see, the VWAP's underneath, and so if the VWAP is underneath your price, it is supportive of upside pressure. So you've just got to run it up the rails in this type of space, okay? So this is still a long. Pullbacks are still buy zones. The low of the opening range could be the very best buy zone we have at 108,190, but it might not come there. It might go to 108,650, okay? But pullbacks are buy zones. Ultimately, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a move right back up into this area that I can short. So at about 111,000, or down into the put wall at 107,900. And I'll try long there, keeping it fairly sideways, very, very tight risk. The implied vol move for Bitcoin, the IV low area is 108,344. The IV high area is 108,836. Let's go to oil. I don't know that oil's going back to the floor in near term, and this could really throw a wrench in the inflation numbers. But here's what we're seeing. Opening range for oil. And let me make sure I'm doing this right. Got it on the right candle. Low, $67.72. High, $67.97. So a little bit over 25 cents, right? Or exactly 25 cents. What did it do? Never breached the high. It's coming in to breach the high now, though, right? Coming in to breach the high now. If I were a betting man, I would say any deep dip is going to be a buy zone for oil over the coming edges. Now, here is the highest volume candlestick of the prior day. There's the volume marker right there. We are still inside of it. The breach might have a blow off top and a resumption of trend sideways, or it's going to blow off the top and go right into the call wall, right? And that is at $69.04. This one's interesting, but I tell you, it's gathering a whole heap of steam out here. Look at all of this inventory accumulation, trying to break out, pull back, more inventory accumulation, trying to break out, pull back, more inventory accumulation, and up she goes. So deep dips, buy zones. Definitely buy zones. Okay, gold. I think we're in contract 2, but let me double check. 33.38. Yes. All right, so here we are with gold. High of the opening range, 3,348. Excuse me, that's low of the opening range, 3,348.1. High of the opening range, 3,355.6. Okay, my huge mistake yesterday was imagining that gold would not hold the breach of the VWAP in the early morning trading. And then my second thought was, well, at least it'll hold this. I mean, it's really old support, probably new resistance. And I left the room because I had all other things I had to take care of. And I did not watch this stop, and it absolutely shredded me. Luckily, I only had a couple of contracts, but I don't like losing like that. And it's my own fault. I got totally biased thinking, okay, trend is down, VWAP down, slope of my super trend down. This is going to be short. And then price said, no, it's not, because price broke above the VWAP, came back, tested the accumulation event here, and moved to the north. Okay? I'm not letting that happen to me again. Very careful. Above the VWAP, watch for the accumulation test, positive retest of VWAP action. Up she goes. What's the VWAP? Same thing as yesterday. Downward slope, downward process, downward momentum. We've got a bottoming formation, but price action trying to hold the VWAP of this volume profile right here. And that VWAP number is 3,344. Still a lot of buying going on here. I thought for sure that's a squeeze. I think this was a squeeze. We'll see. My bias is short. And so if this doesn't immediately give me what I want, I'm getting out of the trade and leaving. But I'd like to see a short entry open at the low at 33.43. This is 33.34, right? I'd like to see it at 33.43 and break down. But I'm going to trade in the direction of that VWAP, and that's it. Let's take a look at SPY. Tightly bound, clean mean reversion. Take a look. Just like we thought. Clean mean reversion, trying to bounce off the floor. Probably going to show a breakthrough event here as it tries to hold both the low edge. What is this? A low edge of this volatility band here that I've got sort of hidden. Aha, that's an implied vol band. Okay, so that's an anchored VWAP sitting right off the high volume area. This holds as support. Dips are going to be buy zones. The dip into 519 would be more than ideal, right? 519. Notice it's breaking through the range and then immediately recovering. So would not be a bad idea to keep an eye on these candlestick formations as they break through the edge. They're very likely to show us reversal formations. Very, very likely. And so I'm a big fan of that. High expectation would be day before trading day, 625. That's the anchored VWAP from that event, or the closing VWAP. And then the low, where I think we ought to bounce, is right around that 619, right? So we've got 625 on the bottom, on the top, 619 on the bottom. Let's take a look at the Qs. Very sideways, definitely mean reversion. First breakthrough, notice, right? Here is our band telling us, hey, we've got upside pressure. Here's a resistance edge. Breaks right through it. This morning, I put this trigger on yesterday, and that's why the breakthrough here doesn't show, but the breakthrough here does. But notice the low support breakthrough immediately reverses, right? And so that's really something very, very important to watch. Okay, opening range. Oh, we went right to the target by filling the gap. 541. Hang on a second. 551 support edge. Potential target to the downside, and then to the upside, 556. But we could also see some action at the top of the expected move zones. All right, that's it for me, folks. Very, very quick motion today. I just want to get this up before 9 a.m. Take care, everyone. I'll see you on the streams. I am on the Benzinga Options Show today and Lunchbox Trading. We're going to be talking a lot about technique. Hopefully we'll be able to get some trades in. It'll be fun. I'll see you there.